Hey guys, what's going on? It's Chef. Got some mobile Malarkey here, but not in the usual sense because I'm not using my own gameplay here. And I'm definitely not going to use gameplay from the actual trailer because I don't want Nintendo to come after me. So I'm just going to talk over a still image and leave it at that. But by now, I'm sure most of you have seen the trailer, or the most recent trailer for Super Mario Run. It's Nintendo's big jump into the mobile gaming thing, because I don't count Miitomo, that was like a social experiment. But seems to be a pretty big deal. You know, they just showed off the different modes, and they announced the price, and that's gotten, I guess I wouldn't say controversy, but it's got some people talking, and I kind of wanted to put in my 2 cents on this. Now you're probably asking, you know, Chaff, why do you care? You know, you don't have an iPhone, you don't have an iPad, and you don't even care about Nintendo IPs anyway, so what's your stake in this? And even though I don't really care that much about Nintendo's IPs, I do kind of want this to succeed, because I figure if Nintendo can put out a quality, you know, full-fledged premium mobile game, then maybe that will maybe inspire some more developers to kind of jump on the bandwagon, but not bandwagon, but, you know, get them to put out some decent content for once, so you don't have all this shitty free-to-play nonsense on the front page all the time. But I'm looking at the site right now and looking at the different modes, and I think there might be a decent amount of content here. Like you've got the world tour, cannot make words today. Fuck it. The main game, you've got, you know, 6 worlds and 24 levels, courses rather. So, you know, you're probably gonna have, you know, a grassland, a desert land, ice, sky, mountain, fortress, you know, and, you know, a ghost house, obviously, yeah, that kind of thing. Now, hopefully the courses are lengthy enough, you know, even though it is a mobile game, it's something that you can play in short bursts, but I would hope that the levels are, you know, decently sized, have enough to warrant, you know, multiple playthroughs, have some replay value, that kind of thing. So if the levels are big enough, that's good. One thing about this that kind of irks me, but not as much as it used to, is the fact that there's no landscape mode. Like, you can only see the game in portrait view, which I guess is okay, because you're not running very fast, so you don't really need to see what's coming up, you know, on the right side of the screen immediately. And hopefully that would mean that the levels have a bit of verticality to them. But, I don't know, it just seems a little bit, what's the word? It feels like it's holding it back a little bit. Like, you know, a game like Downwell, which is, you know, made for that kind of view on a mobile device, or on PC for that matter, it works just fine because the game is built around that. But for this, you know, you're not constantly falling down or going up, you're going from left to right. So wouldn't it make more sense for the, you know, orientation to support that? But that's just me. But yeah, World Tour, it's alright, the main game, got lots of levels, sure. Then you've got the Toad Rally, which seems pretty cool. It's, you know, you're racing against players, ghosts, trying to beat their best times. I mean, I'm not sure if it's based on levels in the game, or it's, you know, custom levels made for these races, but either way, it would be cool. I would hope that they were based on the levels in the main game, so that way there'd be, you know, more to do, and not just, oh, here's 5 or 6 custom levels made for racing, and that's all you get, you know. So, okay, it's a little bit of extra content there. Now, the next thing that kind of makes me wonder is the Kingdom Builder. I don't fully understand what this is, and you know, what they show in the trailer and on the site doesn't really give me enough information to really describe what it actually is. Like, this obviously isn't, you know, a level editor. I wish it was, but it's obviously not. It's like a home base, and you can invite people to come in, I guess? Like, create your unique kingdom with buildings and decorations that you purchase with coins collected in your Toad Rally challenges. And like, it says there are over 100 kinds of items in the Kingdom Builder feature. So you've got tons of items to customize it with, but, you know, to what end? What are you making here? Like, you've got these pictures of pipes, you've got pictures of, you know, toad houses and thwomps and all this stuff, and it's like, well, what do you do with it, you know? They haven't really explained that all too well yet, and I'm hoping they do that in a later trailer or something, because I want to see where that goes. But, you know, overall, seems like a pretty decent amount of content for, you know, a full premium game. So let's get down to the pricing, which seems to be the biggest issue that people have. The game is going to be $9.99. Now, I've bought a fair amount of mobile games. I've bought 13, in fact. And the most I ever paid was $5, and I think that was for The Room 3, which is a pretty big puzzle game, so there's a lot of stuff in there. And I kinda understand where people are coming from with the whole, oh, it's a mobile game, so you shouldn't be paying a lot for it. But if the game has a lot of content in it, then it would make sense to charge more for it, you know? Like, people will compare this to, say, the Final Fantasy games on mobile, which can go up to like $16 or $20, you know? But that's kind of apples and oranges, because those are, you know, massive, you know, multi-disc JRPGs condensed into one, you know, one file. But, you know, those are huge games. So the price is kind of warranted. And this, you know, even though it's still $10, which kind of seems like quote-unquote a lot, it's a lot less than what they're charging for Final Fantasy games. And I kind of can't help but think that maybe we've been a little bit spoiled by Steam sales and Humble Bundles, where you can get like AAA releases for dirt cheap. And then, you know, you come onto the, you know, Google Play Store or the App Store, and you find a game that might have a decent amount of content, but you see, you know, $9.99. It's like, oh my god, that's too expensive. I'm like, dude, it's just $10. You know, it's just $10. I don't know, maybe it's just me. And what they're doing with this game is they're doing like what seems to be a trial version, where I guess you play the first few levels and then you get to a point where you stop, and then you pay to get the full game. Which I think is the best way to do a demo, because I know Implosion Never Lose Hope also did that, where you would play the first few levels of the game, and then it would prompt you to buy the full game if you want to. Which, you know, that's really the best way to do a free version of a full game, as opposed to just being completely free to play with ads and stuff. But, I don't know, I think they're kind of taking notes from Mediocre with what they do with their games, which, you know, their games are free, but they're like arcade games. You know, you play them, you die, you can't use checkpoints unless you pay. Which seems kind of unfair, but think of it this way. They're like, they're free arcade games, but if you pay that one-time purchase, that one-time $1.99 purchase, you're getting unlimited quarters. Think of it that way. And I don't know, I want Super Mario Run to do well. Now, I'm not gonna play it because I don't have the proper, you know, platform. Though I think it is coming to Android, but if it does, it might not come until like, you know, half a year later, because you know how it is with Android. You know, iOS always gets the game first, and then they gotta figure out how to port this thing to all these Android devices, which could take months. And then we'll probably get it in like, I don't know, April or something. So, I don't know, overall, I think it's gonna be an okay game. It's not gonna be great. I don't think it's gonna be, you know, Nintendo's awesome, super amazing mobile entry. I think they'll do better down the line, but I think this is a step in the right direction. I think charging $9.99 for a game like this is bold, but I think people will still buy it because it's Nintendo. That's what they do. You know, I'm curious to see how good their brand loyalty is on something like this. Because, you know, premium mobile games, even though they do sell pretty well, they never get as many downloads or make as much revenue as, you know, free-to-play stuff. Like, I love the games that I've bought, but they're never gonna make the kind of money that Clash of Clans and Game of War and Mobile Strike make, because I don't know, people just want to, you know, dump hundreds and thousands of dollars into in-app purchases so they can, you know, maintain their bases and all that shit. But that's, you know, a discussion for another video. But I'm curious to see where this goes. I hope it does well, and I wish them the best.